Power, your superpower. Eric Kronwall.
In the cellar of my mother's home, she has a cardboard archive box in which she keeps her family records. A dusty brown box, the top somewhat caved in from the boxes piled on top of it. Enough dust, you can write your name in it. And there between the will and the deed of her house, she found a letter. It was written April 2nd, 1966. It read, "Mom and Dad, I ran away. I will not be back. Eric." I wrote this when I was 8 years old. And I have a confession to make. I went back. Toastmasters, Madam Contest Chair, guests, isn't that a little bit how it is for us when we start a journey? We say, we are committed. We're going to make it happen. We are not going back. Maybe it's a public speaking journey we might be on, Molly. Or a new career journey, Josh. Or perhaps a new diet. I'm not making eye contact with anyone. Are we going to go back? Are we going to go back like I did when I was 8 years old? Now, I'm old school. My kids would say very old school. So I read the newspaper every morning. And there in the newspaper, I read an amazing story. Good news. Right there, right on the front page of the newspaper. Good news. The headline said, "Willpower can be learned." I think this is tremendously positive news for us as we start a new journey. Willpower can be learned. And there are three things we need to do to learn willpower, to make willpower our superpower. First is taking where we have willpower in one area, applying it to another. I call that cross-training. Cross-training. The second is accountability, getting people to help us. A, accountability. And the third thing, P, seek progress, not perfection. CAP, cap, so you can put your cap on to learn willpower. Cross-training. Some years ago, I was part of a fundraising committee for a youth camp down near Buena Vista. And the campers would go for the summer and spend a week there, and at the end of the summer, they had a weekend. They called it adult camp, and the supporters would come and get a chance to do everything the kids did, only we got to do it in 2 days instead of a whole week. It was so much fun. And one of the things there was a ropes course. And you start that course, you take the zip line, several hundred feet, go to the cargo net, you climb up that blue nylon rope cargo net, and then across the rope bridge, and you get to a platform that looks kind of like somebody's deck in their backyard. Except this deck is about 30 feet off the ground. And the next obstacle is to jump out and grab that trapeze bar, which I think you can see it from here. So when it was my turn, with all my energy, I leaped out and I grabbed that thing. And when I caught that bar, it was like right in front of my face. Really, the bar was so close, I could have just leaned out and grabbed it. But, 30 feet gives it a little bit different perspective. Now, why do people do ropes courses? Is it so that in my real estate business, when I'm showing property, if I get locked out, I can rappel off the house? No, it's because I can practice overcoming an obstacle and overcoming fear in that one area and apply it to another. And that's what we can do with our willpower. Where are you strong? Where do you have willpower? You can apply that to that new area, that new journey. That's C, cross-training. Second, A, accountability. Getting other people to help us. Probably the most photographed area in Oregon is Multnomah Falls. It's a beautiful little sliver of a river in the Columbia Gorge, and I think it's several hundred feet tall. It's framed by a beautiful arched bridge, and there's a path to the top. And the day that I hiked it, I knew that my hiking partner was going to have a little bit of trouble with it. But we started up the trail. It was an asphalt trail, maybe 5 feet wide. And as we got to the third switchback, and my hiking partner was struggling a little bit, and his blonde bangs plastered to his forehead with sweat, he turned to me and looked up and said, "Carry me up, Dad." My hiking partner that day was my 3-year-old son. And I'd made the mistake the year before of carrying one kid up and 2 kids down Horseshoe Drive. So I wasn't going to do that. So I told him, I'm not going to carry you up, but I'll walk with you all the way. I will carry you down. I'll pick you up when you fall. I'm there for you. And that's how it is with accountability partners. Someone who knows we have to do it, but they can walk with us. The third thing, P, progress, not perfection. Who's climbed Long's Peak? Anyone? A couple people? All right. Most people who climb Long's Peak, they go up and over Granite Path, through the boulder field, through the keyhole, up the trough, and they get to the Narrows. The Narrows is really just a little crack along the side of the mountain. And on the left side, the mountain steeply rises. And on the right side,
yeah,
the mountain is just as steep. And as you step from boulder to boulder, it's a really good idea to kind of lean to the left a little bit. So that if you slip, you fall into the mountain and can easily recover. It's not a disaster. And that's what we need to do with willpower. We need to put us in places where we can slip without having a disaster. So put on your cap. Cross-train, accountability, progress, not perfection. You can make willpower your superpower. Thank you.